Hello friends, welcome back to Pixar Astrology. I'm your host Pix, and in this video we'll be talking about what to expect for the full moon happening on February 24th in Virgo. First, I'm going to be doing a quick overview of the full moon's vibe and condition, and then I'll be going into horoscopes for each of the signs so you can see how this lunation will affect you or someone you know. I'll be telling you what to expect as well as give you some do's and don'ts for this full moon vibe. So, while you're down there looking at your timestamp, don't forget to hit the like button, destroy the like button to help this channel grow, help me out a little bit, and let's go ahead and just hop straight into the full moon. This full moon exacts at 5 degrees Virgo in the early morning of Saturday, February 24th, for those of us here in the US. A full moon in general is viewed as a time of culmination and realization. It's a time where things come to light, a light shines on something, and it allows for reflection on what has been accomplished or what's going on in this moment. So it's linked to completing projects and bringing ongoing issues to a close and into the next phase. So this full moon is all about recognizing and releasing what no longer is serving you and making space for what's next. And one thing about this full moon is it is very closely opposing Saturn in Pisces. So this brings us, Saturn's influence brings a sobering tone. It makes us face some emotional responsibilities sometimes, or makes us deal with more serious aspects in life. It's like giving us a moment to assess where you stand emotionally in certain situations. It has us reflecting on boundaries. Saturn rules boundaries, and especially in Pisces, we're learning about boundaries here with Saturn. So, this full moon with Saturn might highlight somewhere where you need to draw the line or need to enforce limits, recognizing some sort of balance between give and take in your relationships, for example, or your personal boundaries in general with somebody else. Also, Saturn brings consequences. So with your realizations, there could be consequences on some level, like just facing outcomes of past actions, the result of something coming up, which helps you realize and move forward with whatever you're working on. So Saturn has you acknowledging what's working and what isn't working, especially in terms of your long-term commitments and your long-term goals, kind of like a benchmark moment, and helping you realize, what got you to where you are now. But yeah, structural insights. Structure is a Saturn thing. So there might be some sort of reevaluation of some structure in your life, career paths to personal routines, for example. It's giving us an opportunity to strengthen a foundation and to reconsider commitments that are not aligning with your path so we can move forward more authentically with more composure, that sort of thing. Maturity and growth comes with the Saturn vibe. So again, Saturn lessons a little bit with this full moon. Saturn lessons, mature approaches to challenges. It's a full moon for growth, but with navigating life's hurdles with a sense of responsibility and with a sense of wisdom. A little bit of a wet blanket, a little bit of a, stick in the mud kind of vibe, but a necessary stick in the mud. And there's reflective waters here. This is a very significant full moon regarding Saturn in Pisces. It's acting as a very significant checkpoint to gauge the process and lessons that Saturn has been implementing in the Pisces house of your chart for this past year. It's been here for about a year now, so we can do our year check-in with this full moon. Very close to Saturn. So we're pausing here with this full moon to see how well you've been navigating the muddy waters of Saturn in this Pisces house of your chart, whether it's been clearing confusion, maybe facing realities that were previously hidden that you didn't see before, or learning to move forward despite feeling stuck in the mud. It's a full moon for us to assess, adjust, and affirm the triple A's. Assess, adjust, and affirm your path in relation to Saturn's teaching over the past year with these Pisces house topics for you and your chart. So it's a very important one, although a little bit of a wet blanket with Saturn here, but it is important to check in and see what Saturn's been doing in this Pisces house of your chart for the past year. Another thing about this full moon, its ruler is Mercury in its detriment in Pisces, also, which is under the beams of the sun in Pisces. So the condition of the ruler of this full moon is what we in the business call wrecked. I say that tongue in cheek. People with Mercury in Pisces are the best storytellers, but sometimes not as detailed, you know? So Mercury in general, with Mercury in Pisces, these thought processes, the way that you communicate tend to be a bit more intuitive rather than logical, more vibes, less details. Your thoughts might be swimming deep in waters, you know, making it more a time for reflection or creative thinking rather than hardcore analysis. So that's where it's interesting looking at this Saturn, which is very hardcore analysis vibes, but it is in Pisces. So we're doing the Pisces version of analysis here, which is very intuitive. You know, Pisces, Mercury in Pisces can sometimes blur the lines with thinking and communication. It's tricky to convey ideas exactly clear. It's a full moon where misunderstandings might crop up. So double check your words, you know, listen carefully, be patient with communicating. And again, Mercury is under the beams of the sun here. It's very close to the sun. So its usual qualities might be overshadowed or burned away by the sun's glare. So this obscures Mercury even more. So the insights that you're getting, the messages that you're getting aren't necessarily as visible. Again, they're not necessarily as visible, and or they might be in the process of undergoing a major transformation and renewal. So it's kind of hidden. Again, more foggy, more intuitive. And, you know, like I said, despite the challenges, it very much so heightens intuition. So you might be finding that nonverbal cues or just the subtleties of life or communication are revealing a lot more than usual, a lot more than expected. So this is a good full moon to be trusting your gut feelings and to be reading between the lines. But yeah, navigate through the confusion. There's some confusion here. The blend of all of these influences definitely suggest a full moon where navigating through confusion with patience and with intuition is very key, which is just interesting. You wouldn't expect that from a full moon in Virgo, but when it's ruled by Mercury and Pisces under the beams, finding clarity in uncertainty and being gentle with yourself in communication and with the way that you're thinking right now is key. So at the same time, Venus in Aquarius is squaring Jupiter at 10 degrees Taurus. So expect your desires, your needs, your wants, your emotions to be a bit louder, to expand. Everyone's going to be feeling a bit more wanty, a bit more indulgent, a bit more eager to seek out pleasure. Appetites for love, beauty, comfort are sending it. But it's a very lively vibe around what brings joy. So some hedonism is possible with this full moon. And the square, like I said, might lead to overindulgence. It is a very positive feeling to have the benefic squaring like this, but it's like I'm going to eat 3 bags of chips now kind of thing, or I am going to smoke 12 bowls type of vibe. So there is a risk of going overboard. You know, do with that what you will. Keep an eye on excess, but, you know, I'm not going to rain on your parade if you're trying to have fun. But it is easy to expect too much and to be disappointed with this kind of vibe. So keep that in mind. There's a pull towards grand gestures and big displays of affection. And it's very important to remember that it's sincerity over scale, right? So discussions around values and what's worth investing in, both emotionally and materially, might become more of a topic of conversation. It's a time where what you value could be come into question, and maybe even prompting a reevaluation of priorities. So in the mix of it all, there is this sense of optimism and a generous spirit, even though there is the Saturn wet blanket. So, you know, sharing and generosity is in the air, but balance is key. Make sure that you are making the most of all of this without overextending. So this full moon in Virgo is about serious reflection, facing reality checks, especially with the topics of Saturn in Pisces, you know, whatever house Pisces is in your chart, and also a little sprinkle of indulgence to balance in. So it's a full moon to acknowledge your achievements, understand, you know, boundaries, and maybe get slightly swept up in desires. Amidst these realizations and these fun times and celebrations, it also is a Saturn in Pisces checkpoint, reality check. And this prompts a closer look at where you might need to adjust or refocus your path in the Pisces area of your chart. So this full moon is going to be most potent for those of you with planets or points around 5 degrees, the early degrees of the mutable signs. So that's Gemini, Virgo, Sag, and Pisces. And it helps a lot to know, what planets or points you have in the Virgo house of your chart, as that will significantly flavor the full moon for you too. So that's the overview. And go ahead, check the rising sign timestamps in the description. While you're down there, don't forget to destroy the like button for me. And let's jump in. Aries rising, this full moon in Virgo on February 24th is happening in your 6th whole sign house, which typically signals a culmination or realization around things like your daily routines, your work environment, your health habits, your pets, and your relationships with your coworkers or people that you regularly interact with in service-oriented contexts. So let's get into more specifics, what to expect for this full moon, and then I'll get into do's and don'ts. So firstly, workplace dynamics you can expect, like a pivotal moment with coworkers in your work environment, maybe addressing unresolved tensions or recognizing a new need or a more structured approach to something. Health and wellness also is something that comes up with this full moon. So it might highlight the results of health routines, for example. Maybe this is a time when the effects of some sort of routine start to become more apparent, good or bad, and this urges you to reassess your wellness strategies on some level. Also, you can expect a change in your daily routines. So, expect insights in the efficiency or the lack thereof of efficiency in your daily schedule, your daily routine. This could be a moment to realize which habits are serving you and which need refinement to better support your productivity and your well-being. And also, service and support roles are highlighted with this full moon. So you might find yourself reflecting on roles in helping or servicing for other people. Maybe you're reevaluating the balance between giving and receiving support. Maybe you are hiring a new gardener. Maybe you are working at a cafe now, service-oriented contexts. Pet care also. For those with pets, the full moon might bring attention to your pet's well-being or your relationship with them on some level, and it could prompt considerations about addressing, their health concerns or their routine in general or their training. Dealing with enemies can also come up, enemies. So this could mean, the concept of enemies with the 6th house is symbolizing challenges or adversarial situations, your adversaries. So the full moon could illuminate conflicts or competitive dynamics, and it offers a chance to address and resolve these sort of things, or you'll just notice some more. Lifestyle adjustments in general with the full moon in the 6th whole sign house. It's a time where lifestyle choices come into focus and urges you to make adjustments with them. So quitting smoking, for example, or starting smoking, for example. But yeah, the full moon is opposite Saturn, and its condition with Mercury as its ruler suggests a need for careful communication for this full moon and realistic assessments. So this full moon can have a little bit about facing realities, making necessary adjustments, and possibly, dealing with constraints and limitations in a more constructive manner. So let's get into the do's and don'ts for this full moon. I do recommend that you organize your workspace, clear out any clutter, reorganize your work environment. Tidying the space helps clear your mind, after all, and this is very helpful under a Virgo new moon. I also recommend you reevaluate your health routines on some level. Take stock of your current health habits. I just bought new hair stuff, like that rosemary stuff that goes viral on TikTok, things like that. It could just be like getting a new item, getting a new toothbrush even, but, tweaking your diet, altering your workout regimen, ensuring you're getting enough rest, even as simple as that. It's a time to focus on your wellness. I also recommend you try your best to communicate clearly at work. Given Mercury's condition in Pisces under the beams of the sun, make extra effort to communicate clearly and effectively, especially with coworkers or within service roles and service contexts. So double check your emails, clarify instructions, ensure mutual understanding to prevent misunderstandings here. And I do recommend doing a full moon release ritual. So focus on letting go, light a candle, and focus on letting go of work-related stress, your unhealthy habits, any negative feelings towards coworkers, pets, daily routines, any fear. That's a negative feeling, could be a fear also. Write them down, burn them in the candle, for example. That's an example of a ritual you could do, but I recommend using this full moon to release something. The don'ts for this full moon now. I don't recommend that you expect things to go your way easily or without hard work. This full moon, especially with Saturn's influence in your 6th house of hard work, it reminds us that diligence and responsibility are key. Avoid assuming that tasks will be completed or goals will be achieved without putting in the necessary effort. I also don't think that you should ignore your body's signals. So don't push through fatigue. Don't dismiss minor health concerns with this full moon. It's shining a light on your physical well-being. So it's urging you to pay attention to your body and its needs and its signals. I also recommend you don't overcommit yourself. So be wary of taking on any more tasks or responsibilities than you can handle. The desire for service and to prove that you are capable is commendable, but also we don't want to overextend, and lead to burnout, especially under this full moon's exacting energy. Okay, so that's what we have for today. Drop a comment with your prediction with this full moon, your story time. I love reading your comments. Tell me what your thoughts are. And if you are serious about learning more about astrology or tarot, or if you want to join a community and just chat about these sort of things, you are welcome to join us in the 9th house Discord server. It's free and full of really fun people and very nice people. So if you want to chat more, I'll see you there. Otherwise, good luck, friends. I'll catch you on the flip side. Taurus rising, this full moon in Virgo on February 24th is happening in your 5th whole sign house, and this typically signifies a culmination or a heightened awareness with things like your creative projects, your romantic endeavors, recreational activities, what you do for fun, interactions with children, and it highlights a time of reflection, fulfillment, and assessment that brings you on what brings you joy, what makes you happy, what makes you satisfied in terms of fun, enjoyment, and how you express yourself. So let's talk about specifics on what you can expect with this full moon. Creative projects are highlighted, so you might be reaching a turning point or see some sort of culmination of creative projects that you've been working on. It's a moment to assess and check out the progress of something that you've been working on and maybe make final adjustments to align with your vision. Also, romantic relationships are highlighted. In the realm of your dating life or your sex life, this is a full moon that could bring clarity around these subjects or a sense of realization. It might highlight what's working and what's not working, pushing you to think critically about your romantic connections and if you are finding pleasure and joy there. Recreational activities and what you do for fun is also highlighted with this full moon. It's a really fun full moon for y'all. Your usual sources of fun and recreation might come under scrutiny though with Saturn here. So you could find yourself evaluating whether these activities that you do for fun are truly bringing you joy or if they're just filling time. And this could lead you to pursue new interests, for example. Also, children or child-related matters is highlighted here. So if you have kids, this is a full moon that might bring attention to their achievements or to areas where they might need some guidance. So for those of you without children, though, this could relate to projects or creative offspring that you feel a deep connection to, some sort of attention to their achievements or areas that need guidance. Also, in general, entertainment, leisure is highlighted with this full moon. So you might be noticing a need for more balance between leisure and responsibilities in your life, especially with Saturn's sobering influence here. So this could be a time where you're acknowledging a role of structured play in your life, hopefully. Also, this full moon might be highlighting how how authentically you've been expressing your true self. So especially in creative or just leisure activities, this is a moon to align more closely with your genuine interests and genuine passions, like not just what your boyfriend likes to do or whatever. Also remember that this is a checkpoint of what's been going on with Saturn in the Pisces house of your chart. So whole sign, that's your 11th house of allies, colleagues, friends, people that you network with. So for the past year, you may be shifting that kind of thing with who you are interacting with, which colleagues you can work with, which allies you have. And this full moon is a check-in with that. And so let's talk about the do's and don'ts. I'm starting with the do's. I do recommend you watch an emotional movie. Choose a movie that will help you feel things, that resonates with your current feelings, or a movie that you know will stir your emotions, because this is a really safe way to explore and release pent-up, constipated emotions under this full moon influence. And watching movies is a fifth house thing to do. Also, revisit a creative hobby. If you like scrapbooking, if you like, setting up pictures in your house, dust off creative projects. All of the stuff that you've set aside, the hobbies that you set aside, whether it's painting, writing, music, engaging in, like I said, scrapbooking. It can be really fulfilling with this full moon. I also recommend you do spend quality time with your loved ones. This is a really fun time to, especially if you have children or close younger relatives, this is a good time to connect with fun activities, a chance to strengthen bonds, and a chance to connect deeper with your inner child and heal your inner child a little bit. I also recommend you do a full moon release ritual. I recommend lighting a candle with the intention to release fears or negative feelings around these fifth house topics. So, releasing creative blocks, releasing romantic disappointments, releasing anything that dampens your joy. Write them down on paper, burn them, light a candle, anything with intention. Get rid of anything that resembles barriers to your happiness. And the don'ts. I recommend you do not ignore your need for play during this full moon. Don't get so caught up in responsibilities that you neglect your need for entertainment and fun and enjoyment. Balance is key. This full moon is a reminder to honor your playful side. I also recommend you do not dismiss any romantic feelings coming up at this point. So if you are experiencing strong feelings in your romantic life, this isn't a time to brush them off. Reflect on the feelings, notice them, consider them, think about what they're telling you about your needs and desires. And I recommend you do not overlook the joy in simple things either. This is a talent that Tauruses have already, but avoid getting so focused on grand gestures or elaborate plans that you miss out on simple pleasures. Sometimes the most meaningful moments are, from the most simple activities. Okay, so that's what we have for today. Drop a comment with your prediction with this full moon, your story time. I love reading your comments. Tell me what your thoughts are. And if you are serious about learning more about astrology or tarot, or if you want to join a community and just chat about these sort of things, you are welcome to join us in the 9th House Discord server. It's free and full of really fun people and very nice people. So if you want to chat more, I'll see you there. Otherwise, good luck, friends. I'll catch you on the flip side. Gemini rising, this Virgo full moon happening on February 24th is in your 4th whole sign house, and this typically signifies a period of culmination or of heightened awareness regarding your private life, such as revelations or resolutions in your home environment, in your family dynamics, with your parents, or just a deeper understanding and appreciation for your roots and personal foundation. So let's talk about more specifics, though, on what you can expect with this full moon. You can expect, number one, home environment adjustments. So you might find yourself concluding some sort of home improvement projects, or maybe finally addressing long-standing issues within your living space. It's a moon where the need for practical, organized, and a comfortable home environment becomes more important. Number two, family dynamics. So this is a full moon that can bring pivotal moments with family relationships, where underlying issues might come to the surface, or something that's been brewing is ready to be dealt with. But communication with family members could lead to important realizations with this full moon too, or the healing of grievances and whatnot. Also, number three, connection to roots is highlighted with this full moon. So there might be a strong pull towards exploring your heritage or reconnecting with your familial background on some level. Also, real estate matters and property matters are highlighted here. So for those of you who are involved in such things, or if you're considering moving, this is a full moon that might mark a significant phase in that process, and it could bring some clarity or culmination. And number 5, emotional reflection. So, given also the full moon's opposition to Saturn and with its ruler Mercury being in the compromised position that it's in, you might be finding that you need to reflect, or you need to sit and think for a while, especially about your emotional security and your sense of belonging. So this could be a time to reassess what truly makes you feel at home and what truly makes you feel supported and secure. So also, this, like I said, this is a checkpoint with Saturn in Pisces, the whole Saturn in Pisces saga. So there is some considerations there. This is a full moon that might serve as a reflective checkpoint regarding the lessons that Saturn has been imparting on your 10th house since the March of 2023. So this is particularly around your career, your public image, just what you are known for amongst the people who know you, and your overall long-term goals. This full moon is an opportunity to see how these lessons are affecting your sense of stability, your sense of a foundation at home, and it prompts a reevaluation of how your professional life and how your personal life are intersecting and supporting each other. Just a checkpoint, because we still got a couple years of Saturn here. So this is seeing what's been going on and adjusting. So let's talk about the do's and don'ts for this full moon. I do recommend that you tidy up your space. This is a great time to clear out any clutter, and clearing it out can also lift your mood and make the place feel more like a sanctuary. I also recommend catching up with family, a cozy dinner at home, FaceTiming them, quick chat, texting them even. Just connecting with loved ones can really make a difference with this full moon. Heart-to-heart moments are highlighted. I also recommend you do think about what's grounding you, what grounds you, what makes you feel secure. Take a moment to maybe journal or just meditate and chill. Think about what makes you feel rooted, what makes you feel secure. Maybe jot down some thoughts about your family, where you come from, where you are right now, and the things that really matter to you. And of course, I recommend doing a full moon release ritual for this full moon. So focus on maybe lighting a candle or writing down and then burning a paper, and focus on any negative emotions or unresolved issues related to your home life or your family life or with property, real estate, your roots, and where you want to put your roots. So write down any fears or negative feelings or insecurities about that, burn the paper, or just light a candle with the intention of letting those things go. As for my don'ts for this full moon, I do not recommend brushing off any feelings that are coming up with this full moon. If you're feeling something, don't just shove it aside. This is a full moon that brings emotions to the surface for a reason. It's okay to dive into those feelings. I also recommend you don't bite off any more than you can chew during this full moon, if possible. If you have a million ideas to fix up your place, that's great, but one step at a time. We don't want to be overwhelmed. Saturn won't allow that. So pick one thing, two things that you can actually get done without stressing yourself out too much. I also recommend to not forget about yourself, okay? While you are sorting out your space and your family stuff, remember to do something nice for you. Self-care isn't selfish, it is essential. So that's why your homework is to at least journal something or meditate and just connect with yourself. Okay, so that's what we have for today. Drop a comment with your prediction with this full moon, your story time. I love reading your comments. Tell me what your thoughts are. And if you are serious about learning more about astrology or tarot, or if you want to join a community and just chat about these sort of things, you are welcome to join us in the 9th House Discord server. It's free and full of really fun people and very nice people. So if you want to chat more, I'll see you there. Otherwise, good luck, friends. I'll catch you on the flip side. Cancer rising, this full moon on February 24th in Virgo is happening in your 3rd whole sign house. And this is a spotlight on your communication, the way that you're thinking about things, your connections with your siblings, roommates, relatives, and besties, and also with learning and transportation. I know there's a lot going on with the 3rd house, but let's talk about more specific things that you can expect with this specific full moon. So The ending of certain conversations could be coming up with this full moon. You could see important conversations with siblings, roommates, relatives, besties wrapping up, bringing a sense of closure or clarity to ongoing issues or conversations that may have been coming up. Also, travel adjustments are possible with this full moon. Your daily commutes or your local travels especially might come into focus, and thinking about your daily journeys to and fro. So situations with your car or whatever you use as a form of transportation could come up, highlighted. Also, community interactions in general. So, events or situations in your neighborhood or with your neighbors might require more attention. And rethinking your daily habits is possible with this full moon. It's a really good full moon to look at your daily routines, particularly those aimed at moving you forward, and consider if you need to adjust that. Also, technology. So if you are a technological savvy person or have a phone, this full moon might highlight a need for an update or changes that just keep things running smoothly. Also, learning milestones or teaching milestones could be coming up. So for those of you engaged in learning and teaching or skill building in general, especially with any type of technical skill or writing, this is a full moon that might bring a sense of achievement with those things or a need to set new learning goals with these things. Your thoughts with this full moon could be evolving, could be changing. Your thought processes, the way that you think about things, the way that you communicate might be under review. You might be reflecting on how, you express yourself or the way that you think about things. Just some sort of recent experience might prompt you to see things a little bit differently. That's the third house. Also, connecting with your broader beliefs, because Saturn's influence from your ninth house, Saturn's been in Pisces for about a year now, since March of last year. So this is a full moon that's kind of a checkpoint in what's been going on with Saturn in your ninth house. So this is asking you for a checkpoint with your broader beliefs, your philosophies, your overall overarching beliefs that shape the way that you view life, your worldview. There's a checkpoint with your worldview in less words. So the full moon's energy encourages a practical look at these sort of things, the way that you're thinking about something, your conversations, the way you get to and fro. It blends Virgo's detail-oriented approach to the reflective qualities of Saturn in Pisces and Mercury's nuanced influence. And again, it is a checkpoint for what's been going on with Saturn in Pisces for the past year as well. It's shining a big old spotlight on that. So, a checkpoint. The do's and don'ts I have for this full moon. I do recommend that you organize your phone or your laptop, your computer, organize your communication devices. So take some time to delete old messages, organize your emails, declutter your social media, unfollow people, clear your space. And I do recommend that you check in with siblings, roommates, close friends, relatives. Use this full moon to touch base with somebody, especially with friends who feel like family. Some sort of heartfelt conversation could come up too, and it'll strengthen your bonds. It'll feel yummy. I also recommend you reflect on your daily journey, from point A to point B, whether it's your car, your commute to work, or the routes that you take for your daily errands. Consider if there is some sort of change that can happen there or some sort of upgrade that can happen there. I also recommend doing a full moon release ritual, of course. I recommend either lighting a candle with a strong intention or writing down, any misunderstandings, communication barriers, negative thought patterns that you've been experiencing and release them. This is a really, you could burn paper as a symbol. Okay, and release them. The don'ts. I recommend you do not overlook the power of listening. You are a Cancer rising. You're a good listener, but in your eagerness to express yourself with this full moon, don't forget to listen. I also, because you can get some really gold nuggets from listening during this full moon, especially. So also, don't neglect your local environment. Don't get so caught up in the digital world. I'm guilty of this, that you miss out on what's happening right in your neighborhood in IRL. So take some time to connect with your immediate surroundings. Maybe just walk around the block and see what your neighbors have been up to. I also recommend you do not resist changing the way that you think about something or adapting your thinking to something new. You might be noticing during this full moon that certain thoughts you had, certain ways of thinking aren't serving you anymore. So don't cling to those out of habit. Be open to adjusting your perspectives and watch as new information and new insights come to light. Okay, so that's what we have for today. Drop a comment with your prediction with this full moon, your story time. I love reading your comments. Tell me what your thoughts are. And if you are serious about learning more about astrology or tarot, or if you want to join a community and just chat about these sort of things, you are welcome to join us in the 9th House Discord server. It's free and full of really fun people and very nice people. So if you want to chat more, I'll see you there. Otherwise, good luck, friends. I'll catch you on the flip side. Leo rising, this full moon on February 24th in Virgo is happening in your 2nd whole sign house. So this highlights a key moment in your financial situation, your materials situation, and your relationship with this. You might find yourself evaluating what truly is valuable to you, not just in terms of money, but also, just what you cherish, what you prioritize. But let's talk about more specific things you can expect with this full moon. Number 1, financial reflections are possible here. So you might be seeing the results of past financial decisions come up with this full moon. Maybe it's prompting a review on how you manage your budget and how you manage your expenses. It's a time to assess what's working and what might need to change moving forward. Number 2, value reassessment. Like I said earlier, this is a full moon that could lead to a deeper understanding on what truly brings value to your life, what you truly value and prioritize beyond material possessions. So you might find yourself reevaluating your priorities and how they align with your spending habits. Number 3, your physical possessions are highlighted. So this could be a full moon where you're focusing on your belongings on some level. Maybe you are decluttering, maybe you're donating, maybe you're reorganizing, that sort of thing. And number 4, income insights, money insights. I know that's what you all want to hear about. So like the ongoing efforts related to increasing or stabilizing your income might reach a pivotal point on some level, offering clarity in the next steps or adjustments needed for your approach. The 2nd house, besides money and that sort of thing, other resources and material resources include skills that you have. Skill building. So you see people doing 2nd house stuff. Sometimes they go back to school. Sometimes they learn a new skill that they can then apply moving forward. But I digress. This is also a full moon where we are highlighting Saturn in your 8th whole sign house in Pisces. Saturn has been going through Pisces since March of 2023. And this is a full moon that's kind of like a benchmark check-in with what Saturn in Pisces has been doing for you in your life. So you could be encountering themes related to sharing resources with a partner, or your partner's life being a focus on some level, or your partner's life becoming more and more foundational as you support them, but also your investments, your debts, your money, your emotional security and emotional baggage too. All of these are highlighted, and a benchmark is there for you to check in with what's going on. And this full moon could be highlighting how these things impact your personal financial security and what kind of adjustments you can make moving forward. Number 6, self-worth considerations. So, the state of your finances and your possessions might be prompting you to think about your self-worth. And it encourages you to find value in yourself beyond material possessions, beyond material measures, and beyond capitalism. We're gonna try and fight capitalism here, thinking about our self-worth. And number 7, practical changes in the way that you consume things is possible with this full moon. With Virgo's influence, we might be inspired to make more practical or health-conscious choices, especially with food or other type of consumables, and it aligns more with your consumptions and your values moving forward. So this is one phase ending and a new phase starting. Keep in mind, though, that this full moon's emphasis on culmination and reflection, combined with Saturn's lessons and Mercury's position, This is a full moon that is ripe for gaining clarity and making informed decisions about your resources and about what you prioritize and value on the inside as well as the outside. So let's talk about the do's and don'ts. I do recommend that you purchase something that you've been considering purchasing. If there is something that you've thought long and hard about and it aligns with your values, it aligns with your budget, this is a good time to go for it. Make sure that the choice feels right and beneficial in the long run, and you can afford it though. I also recommend you do purge, donate, declutter, clean. Clearing out what no longer is needed is incredibly refreshing and incredibly astrologer good for this full moon. Whether it's clothes, gadgets, even old documents, creating space really helps you clear your mind. I also recommend you review your finances. I know that's annoying to hear, but take a closer look at your income with this full moon, or maybe you already have, but there are realizations about your expenses, your savings, your investments. There are realizations on the horizon here. It's a good full moon to adjust your financial plan to better suit your current and your future needs. And it brings just kind of a reality check with that. I also recommend you do a full moon release ritual. It's easy, just light a candle or write down on a piece of paper your intention, which is, releasing financial fears or releasing insecurities, letting them go, release any guilt tied to past purchases or past financial decisions or just that sort of past financial stuff. Release all of that. Burn the list or light the candle, safely let it go. So let's talk about the don'ts. I don't recommend you make impulsive purchases or emotional spending vibes. This is a good time to buy something that you've carefully considered, but avoid impulse buys. Make sure that your purchases are thoughtful. Make sure, the full moon can heighten emotions. So it's important to distinguish between emotional spending and your genuine needs and your well-considered wants. I also recommend you do not neglect any long-term financial goals. I know this is kind of similar. And by long-term, I mean while you are checking in with your true values, your ultimate priorities in life, remember that in your long-term goals. Because a lot of the time when we are thinking of our 10-year plan, we feel this pressure to think about our 401k and our retirement and whatnot. And while that is great, I go for it, think about that stuff. When I'm talking about not neglecting long-term financial goals, I mean, while you are keeping your future financial health in mind, keep the fact the ultimate goal in mind, which for some of us is just to be able to afford to live comfortably and do something that helps the world and also gives us a fair energy exchange. So our long-term financial goals don't have to be scary ones either. I just want to asterisk that. So your homework, your do's and don'ts, that's what we got. Purchase something you've been considering, but not an emotional spend, not an impulsive spend. Purge, donate, declutter, clean, review your finances, and do your full moon release ritual and watch how it makes space for even more material stuff. So that's what we have for today. Drop a comment with your prediction with this full moon, your story time. I love reading your comments. Tell me what your thoughts are. And if you are serious about learning more about astrology or tarot, or if you want to join a community and just chat about these sort of things, you are welcome to join us in the 9th House Discord server. It's free and full of really fun people and very nice people. So if you want to chat more, I'll see you there. Otherwise, good luck, friends. I'll catch you on the flip side. Virgo rising, this full moon in Virgo on February 24th is happening in your first whole sign house. And this is a spotlight on you, on your personal growth, on the evolution of your identity. This is an angular house, so this means the full moon is dynamic, it's initiating, and it's physically present and in your face. You're going to notice this full moon. But let's talk about some specifics you can expect from this full moon. Number 1, you will get some insights on how you are seen. You might be noticing a clearer picture on how your identity and your vibe is perceived by other people, and it nudges you to think about any adjustments you want to make in the way you present yourself. Number 2, a health checkup. This could be a good full moon for a health review where you're going to see the results of your habits and maybe decide to tweak them and better them if possible. Number 3, reflecting on your look. So you might find yourself mulling over your current style, your appearance, thinking about changes that are more you, maybe changing your hair, changing your wardrobe, changing the way you look is on the docket. Number 4, reflecting on relationships or the effect on relationships here is possible. The first house is opposite of the 7th, so it's always about you and the other and how you are perceived. So this is a full moon that brings up thoughts on how you maintain your sense of self within your relationships and making sure that you're staying true to yourself while being part of this partnership or duo or whatever relationship you have. Also, number 5, you may be feeling a lot more proactive. This is a full moon that is boosting your drive to take the lead in areas that are important to you, like your personal projects, and just stating your needs more, and expressing yourself. You could be looking at how you are sharing your thoughts and feelings and how you express yourself, how you talk, how you communicate. And you might be finding more effective ways to get your point across and express yourself. This is a full moon that is also a checkpoint on what's been going on with Saturn in Pisces for the past year. Saturn moved into Pisces in March of 2023. This is your 7th whole sign house. So there has been a lot of thoughts and considerations and reflections related to relationships in the past year. And this is a full moon that is a checkpoint benchmark moment there as well. So this is a full moon all about taking a balanced look at yourself and your relationships and, from your health to how you connect with others and make adjustments that are more aligned with your true self. So some do's and don'ts for this full moon. I do recommend you change your appearance. This is a good time to try out a new look if you've been contemplating it. It's a time to get a haircut, wardrobe refresh, or new makeup, whatever it is that makes you feel, it refreshes you and makes you feel more like yourself. Do that. I also recommend you say the shit that needs to be said. Say the thing you need to say. Use this full moon to express yourself, especially if there's something important on your mind. Also, I recommend you make a decision. This is a full moon that might provide some clarity needed to make a decision that you've been pondering, especially one related to your personal projects or your overall life goals and direction. Trust your intuition and commit to your choice if you're feeling it this full moon. I also recommend, this is a very powerful full moon for you to be doing a full moon release ritual. Write down or light a candle with the intention to let go of any self-doubts or negative perceptions or things about yourself that you want to let go of. This is very, very powerful with this full moon since it's in your first house. The don'ts. This is what I don't recommend you do for the full moon. Do not ignore your feelings. Do not stuff them down. Don't brush them aside. Don't shove them under the rug. This is a time to feel the feelings. Your emotions are providing valuable data. You're a Virgo. You like data. You like information. Emotions provide information, okay? So don't shove them away. Listen to them and gather the data. I also recommend you don't rush into major decisions. I did mention that it's a good time to make a decision, and it's a good time for change, but avoid rushing into major decisions. Deciding doesn't necessarily mean moving forward at 4,000,000%. Think about things. I know you're a Virgo, you'll probably overthink them, but don't rush into things. Also, don't overlook self-care for this full moon. This is a really good full moon to do spa day, do your nails, do whatever you do to be cozy, comfy, and just take care of yourself. Nurture your inner well-being for your outer well-being. Okay, so that's what we have for today. Drop a comment with your prediction with this full moon, your story time. I love reading your comments. Tell me what your thoughts are. And if you are serious about learning more about astrology or tarot, or if you want to join a community and just chat about these sort of things, you are welcome to join us in the 9th House Discord server. It's free and full of really fun people and very nice people. So if you want to chat more, I'll see you there. Otherwise, good luck, friends. I'll catch you on the flip side. Libra rising, this full moon happening in Virgo on February 24th is in your 12th whole sign house, which often highlights a time of culmination regarding hidden aspects of your life. It encourages awareness, closure, and an illumination of subconscious matters or things that are generally kept in the shadows. So let's talk about specifics though. I know the 12th house is often scary, but I love the 12th house as a 12th houser myself. So let's talk about it. Number one, The surfacing of hidden emotions is likely with this full moon. You might find that hidden emotions or buried memories come to the surface. It prompts you to acknowledge them and address them in some cases. Number 2, a need for solitude. This full moon brings a pull towards spending time alone, allowing reflection and rest, allowing you to find mental clarity. This is a full moon also, number 3, where you will find revelations in therapy or in spiritual practices. If you are engaged in such things, therapy, meditation, any type of spiritual practices, this is a full moon that could bring significant insights and significant breakthroughs with healing and with connection. Your dream activity also. Your dreams might be very vivid, might be more meaningful than usual, might be getting some messages through your dreams, through the astral, and maybe offering guidance and revealing hidden aspects of your psyche. Also, the veil will be very thin for y'all with this full moon. The veil between the realms will be a lot thinner, so this allows for a easier or deeper connection with your inner self, as well as intuitive insights and connection to spirit and the spirit world. And along those same lines, encounters with hidden obstacles is possible, like issues or challenges that you weren't fully aware of might come more apparent, and it gives you a chance to confront and deal with them, though. We are pulling the rug out and checking out what's under the rug with this full moon, and Virgo wants to sweep it up. So again, there's some sort of reflection on past actions too with this full moon. It's prompting a review of how past actions reflect on your current mental health or your current spiritual well-being. And an assessment of personal boundaries comes up with this full moon. You could be evaluating your boundaries with give and take in relationships, and particularly being more protective of your mental space and your emotional well-being. Yay, we like that. Also, considerations of self-care routines should be coming up with this full moon. This is making you check the state of your self-care practices, especially those related to your mental health and just relaxation in general. And this full moon is a benchmark moment for what Saturn in Pisces has been doing in your chart. Saturn is in your 6th whole sign house, has been there since March 2023, so about a year, and this full moon is bringing a checkpoint and benchmark moment to what Saturn has been doing there. And so Saturn has been bringing in more work or some blocks related to your work environment, related to service work, related to your pets, related to your daily routine and your health. But overall, this is a full moon that is a time for introspection, spending time alone, dealing with more subtle, often overlooked facets of life, and it offers a chance for more healing and more understanding. So it's not really a party moon, but we'll get there actually. Let's talk about the do's and don'ts of this full moon for y'all. I do recommend you dive into me time. This is a great full moon for like meditating, journaling, or just being with your thoughts, staring at a wall, rotting in bed. It's rotting hours with this full moon. It's all about letting the inner thoughts and insights bubble up and be released. I also recommend you do some sort of chill solo trip, a getaway on your own. The 12th house rules exile, which can mean travel alone, away from home. And this gives you a different perspective when you do that. So I always recommend retreating or going on a little, travel by yourself, solo retreat, safely, of course, but getting out of your environment to get a different perspective. I also recommend you check out your subconscious, you dig in a little bit more with your feelings. Try keeping a dream journal for this full moon, or, do some guided astral work. Look on YouTube for astral projection meditations. And connect with your guides. I recommend that you meditate or go on YouTube and search Meet My Guide meditation and be guided into meeting your guide. Some sort of spiritual connection. And if that's too much for you, how about this? I recommend a full moon ritual where you are releasing something. So this is a really powerful full moon to light a candle with the intention to let go of old wounds or fears or old things that are no longer serving you, that's under the rug, that you're ready to put in the dustpan and put in the trash. You can also write it down on a piece of paper and burn it. Some sort of release ritual to let go of old wounds, fears, and stuff you are done with. The don'ts for this full moon. I don't recommend, again, do not ignore what you're feeling. Full moons push the feelings out on purpose. Don't push your emotions to the side. This is a time to look at your emotions, get some data about that, learn, figure out why you're feeling these things. The full moon can stir up a lot, so it's important to listen to what your heart's telling you. I also recommend you do not forget about your personal space. I've been hounding alone time, quiet time. So don't spread yourself too thin with this full moon. I'm sure we all have schedules, we all have shit to do, but do not let others overstep on your boundaries. Keep yourself in check there. Also, don't go overboard with social plans. Try not to fill your calendar if possible during this full moon, or don't go all out and partying. If you're going to go party with the full moon in your 12th house, you're likely to start some drama. That's all I'll say there. And do not brush off any intuitive or gut feelings or like woo-woo stuff. Because like I said, the veil is thin. If your intuition is whispering or shouting, pay attention, okay? This is a full moon that could be cranking your intuition up to 10. So it's worth tuning in. Okay, so that's what we have for today. Drop a comment with your prediction with this full moon, your story time. I love reading your comments. Tell me what your thoughts are. And if you are serious about learning more about astrology or tarot, or if you want to join a community and just chat about these sort of things, you are welcome to join us in the 9th House Discord server. It's free and full of really fun people and very nice people. So if you want to chat more, I'll see you there. Otherwise, good luck, friends. I'll catch you on the flip side. Scorpio rising, this full moon happening in Virgo on February 24th is going to be in your 11th whole sign house, which brings a time to reflect on and possibly refine your connections with people, your communities, your friends, your networks, your allies, your colleagues. This is spotlighting the progress and the adjustments needed in your social sphere, essentially. So let's talk about specifics on what you can expect with the full moon. Number 1. Clarity in friendships. You could get a lot clearer picture of what your supporters and your friends and your true besties in your social circles feel. Maybe this leads to stronger connections or leads you to rethink certain connections. Number 2, community roles are highlighted. So there might be a spotlight on how you fit into community projects, how you fit into groups. It shows you how you contribute and maybe how you're making impacts and where you need to adjust your involvement. So again, there's a positive and a negative to the light being shined here, right? Number 3, networking effectiveness is highlighted here. This is a full moon where your professional networks might be highlighted. Checking to see how well your professional networks are working for you. Maybe it nudges you towards new ways to collaborate, new ways to connect. And number 4, it highlights goals within groups. So you might be reassessing some sort of collective goal in a community or in a group that you're a part of, thinking about how these goals are aligning with what you're personally aiming for. And again, number 5, there is a creative and social interplay. This is a full moon that is a benchmark on what's been going on with Saturn in Pisces, which is our 5th whole sign house. So with this full moon so close to opposing Saturn, it's a little bit like shining a light on what Saturn has been doing there. There's a chance to see how your hobbies, your creative projects, how you experience pleasure and romance and sex and your inner child and play and joy, and your kids if you have relationships with kids, and how you play and how all of this is influenced by your social life or by your group activities, and the interplay between the 5th house and the 7th house, the 5th house and the 11th house. And number 6, revising your aspirations could be coming up with this full moon. This is a moon, the 11th house rules your aspirations and your dreams. So the full moon here might be asking you to reflect on these long-term goals and evaluate how aligned they are with your current path and your current role and the role that your social circle plays in supporting these sort of aspirations. It's an interesting thing. I recommend journaling about that on its own. Also, number 7, is that what number I'm on? Some sort of collaboration regarding finances is possible here. Like money matters related to group projects or your role in community could become more noticeable on some level and ask for your attention. And number 8, your social contribution could be brought up as well. So the role that you are playing in social work, activism, or making a broader impact might come under the spotlight if you work in those sort of situations or if you're involved. It prompts you to think about how satisfying and effective this activism is for you. And so overall, this is a full moon that asks you to take a step back and review your place in your networks and in your communities. And it makes sure, you want to make sure that these connections and these activities are genuinely rewarding and in sync with your personal side and your creative side. Let's talk about the do's and don'ts I have for this full moon. I do recommend being social for this full moon. This is a great opportunity to reconnect with your community, your friends. It's a good time to have meaningful conversations and strengthen your bonds. Number 2, I do recommend posting on social media. This is a really good time to share your thoughts, share your projects, share something inspirational. It's a great way to engage with a network and spark, interesting conversations. I also recommend organizing a group activity of some kind. So if you're not involved, already, organize something. Plan something that brings your community together, maybe a virtual meetup. Maybe just a collaborative project of some kind, a group hobby session, a co-working session. It's a great way to, strengthen the collective spirit and foster deeper connections and harness this full moon energy. I also recommend you do a full moon release ritual. Write down on a piece of paper the things you want to let go of regarding the 11th house, or light a candle with the intention to release these things. Write down any social fears you have, any social anxieties, social disappointments you've experienced, and let them go. It's very symbolic to release these negative social energies. The don'ts. I don't recommend overcommitting socially. So while being social is encouraged, you try not to stretch yourself too thin. I know you're a Scorpio rising and you won't, but balance is key. We have Saturn there, we have Mercury there, so it's not necessarily the most bubbly, but it is fun. But don't stretch yourself too thin. I also recommend not making any rash decisions in group projects. Hold off on making any quick, significant decisions unless you've been thinking about them for a while already. Give yourself time to think about the best course of action. And the last don't I have, this is pretty specific, but I think relevant. Do not publicly air any personal grievances during this full moon. Resist the urge to use social media to vent any frustrations, especially about friends or group situations. Private conversations will be a lot smoother with this. We don't want any drama. Okay, so that's what we have for today. Drop a comment with your prediction with this full moon, your story time. I love reading your comments. Tell me what your thoughts are. And if you are serious about learning more about astrology or tarot, or if you want to join a community and just chat about these sort of things, you are welcome to join us in the 9th House Discord server. It's free and full of really fun people and very nice people. So if you want to chat more, I'll see you there. Otherwise, good luck, friends. I'll catch you on the flip side. Sagittarius rising, this full moon on February 24th in Virgo is happening in your 10th whole sign house, and this typically signifies a culmination or critical realizations happening with your career, with your public image, with your reputation, with your overall life goals, and it brings clarity to your professional journey and how you're seen by people who know you in general. So let's talk about more specifics. Let's break it down. What can you expect with this full moon? Number 1, feedback time. Okay, you might be receiving some straightforward feedback on your work or on a project that you've been involved with. A light is shining on your work, essentially, and what you're known for. You can expect changes with your career or realizations with your career, benchmark moments with your career, and, more information. Thinking you want to do one thing, getting more information, and realizing you want to maybe go a different direction. Or getting promoted. The roles that you take on in life are highlighted with this full moon. Number 2, like I said, a spotlight moment. So your work or a project could get a lot of attention, public attention, attention from authority figures, just more attention in general. Number 3, a chat with someone in authority or interaction with authority. So a significant conversation with an authority figure, a boss, a mentor, a parent, somebody who holds more power than you. Changes with your parents are also possible with this full moon. Your mom or your dad or your grandparents, some sort of significant thing in their life happening is possible. Also, being at a crossroads is possible with this full moon. You know, you might need to make a choice about whether you need to go this direction or this direction, especially regarding your career, but also your overall life. It's a decision point, is all I'm saying. Not necessarily the decision itself, but the decision point is highlighted. Also, there is a home work reflection balance. This is a full moon that is a benchmark moment, checking us in with what Saturn has been doing in Pisces in your 4th whole sign house. Saturn has been there since March 2023. This is a full moon checking in with that vibe because it's so close to opposing it. So you might be noticing an interplay about your home life and how that changes and affects what you are known for doing professionally or what you want to be known for doing professionally. The changes there. Also, in general, a visibility increase. You'll be seen a lot more with a full moon in your 10th house. You're going to find yourself a lot more visible professionally and just in general in your life. You are in the limelight with this full moon. So overall, this is a full moon that is serving up some real moments of reflection and, checkpoint benchmark time of your professional world and what you are known for doing, the roles that you are known for taking on in your life. So that doesn't necessarily mean boss babe career stuff, though it definitely could. If you don't have a career, it could be just the roles you are known for taking on and your overall goals and what you want to do with your life. So let's talk about the do's and don'ts. The do's for this full moon. I do recommend making a big decision. If there is a major choice you need to make, this is a good time to trust your gut and to go for it. I do recommend fixing your resume, your LinkedIn, apply to jobs if you want to get a new job, quit your job if you want to quit your job, if you can, of course, if you can afford it. Also, post on social media, be seen, share your achievements, express yourself. It's a solid way to engage in your network and let yourself be seen. People want to see what you're doing, and they're going to be excited about it with this full moon. This is viral vibes, okay? Also, I recommend you do engage in some sort of mentor or mentee relationship. Either dive into that mentorship role or reach out to a mentor or somebody more knowledgeable and more wise than you. Seek advice, give advice. Also, I recommend doing a full moon release ritual. This is a very powerful full moon for you guys to harness releasing fears of, being seen or fears about your job or what your roles are, what you want to be known for, what you want to do. This is a good full moon to release fears around that. Either light a candle with the intention to release those fears or write them down and burn them. Jot down career fears, uncertainties, clear out those mental blocks. The don'ts for this full moon. I don't recommend hiding from the spotlight. Even if it feels like a bit much, embrace the attention that you or your work is getting with this full moon. It's not just about basking in the glow, but also learning from how others are seeing your professional insights. It's data, it's information. Also, do not overlook your work-life balance in the hustle of it all. Don't forget to check in with your home life, your personal needs, that sort of thing. Keep balance. Don't overwork. Don't underwork. Balance. Also, don't rush any communications or conversations that might be coming up now. With Mercury in this tricky position, you need to take an extra moment to think through your words, especially in professional settings and home settings with your family. So clear communication can save you through a lot of misunderstandings with this full moon. Okay, so that's what we have for today. Drop a comment with your prediction with this full moon, your story time. I love reading your comments. Tell me what your thoughts are. And if you are serious about learning more about astrology or tarot, or if you want to join a community and just chat about these sort of things, you are welcome to join us in the 9th House Discord server. It's free and full of really fun people and very nice people. So if you want to chat more, I'll see you there. Otherwise, good luck, friends. I'll catch you on the flip side. Capricorn rising, this full moon on February 24th is in Virgo in your 9th whole sign house. And this type of full moon typically highlights a culmination or a realization related to your beliefs, your education, some sort of long distance travel, often prompting a reflection of your worldview overall. The 9th house is a cadent house, so this is a reflective, transformative, and sort of behind the scenes full moon. But let's talk about more specifics, okay? What can you expect from this full moon? Number one, insights from abroad. So you could hear something important from a distance. Think international contacts or long distance projects. And this could shed new light on things for you. Number two, educational milestones also with this full moon. If you've been studying, this could be when things wrap up or reach a critical point, making you think about what's next in your learning journey. Number three, big ideas are clicking with this full moon. Your bigger beliefs, your bigger life philosophies might suddenly make more sense, or you'll see them in a new light thanks to a moment of clarity. Maybe you see a TikTok, maybe you listen to a TED Talk that just completely helps something click for you. Number four, legal and ethical decisions can come up with the 9th house. So if there's been any legal stuff or any big decisions on your plate, this is a full moon that might bring resolution or clarity that you've been waiting for. Number five, this is also a Saturn in the 3rd house check-in. So Saturn has been in your third house of Pisces since March of 2023, and this full moon is shining a big old spotlight on this. And so it's kind of like a checkpoint, a benchmark with what Saturn has been doing in your 3rd house. So reflecting on these lessons, you might be noticing how you approach communication, learning, or local community interactions. It might have evolved and now influences your broader outlook on life. Number six, travel is highlighted with this full moon. So any travel ideas, any travel plans might come up for review, or maybe come up at all. Maybe you come up with the idea, but it's pushing you to think about why you want to go and what you're trying to find from the experience. Number seven, learning from others also. So interactions with people from different backgrounds could be coming up with this full moon and offer some eye-opening perspectives. It's a very mind-expanding full moon. And overall, it's a full moon that is about tying up loose ends and gaining insights in things related to your learning, your traveling, or your worldview and what you do to expand your horizons and expand your mind, all while keeping in mind the lessons learned from Saturn's influence on your day-to-day communications and your local connections and the way that you are thinking about things. Some do's and don'ts, okay? I do recommend you make decisions regarding school. If you've been pondering over educational situations, now is a good time to make choices, whether it's choosing a major, enrolling in a course, transferring, anything like that. Trust your gut with this one. Also, I do recommend making any travel decisions. So like if you have a case of the wanderlust, if you're thinking about exploring new places, start planning or even booking it. Where it's all about broadening the horizons this full moon. I also recommend you engage in some form of storytelling, whether it's writing, listening, reading, TikToking. Dive into stories for this full moon. It's a great source of inspiration and of insight and connects you to a lot of different perspectives. I also recommend you do explore spiritual or occult practices if you're drawn to those sort of things, which I know you are because you're listening to this. This is a great time to dive deeper into spiritual things, whether it's astrology, tarot, meditation. Check it out. Dive into it. You'll see that the messages and insights are a lot louder, a lot clearer than usual. Your connection is a lot stronger. And along those lines, I recommend specifically you do a full moon release ritual. Either light a candle with the intention or write down some of your limiting beliefs or perspectives that you've outgrown and let them go. If you don't know what those are, write that down. Write down, I am releasing limited beliefs that I've outgrown. You know what I mean? Like, be direct like that. So this is very powerful with releasing outdated views that, keep you held back. The don'ts for this full moon. I don't recommend being closed-minded because otherwise the moon's going to just rip your mind open. Resist the urge to stick to what you know. Be open to new ideas, new experiences, especially when it comes to learning and exploring. I also recommend you don't overlook the value of differing opinions. Don't dismiss ideas just because they're unfamiliar. Don't say no and reject things right away, especially if they challenge your current beliefs. Every perspective can offer something valuable. I also recommend you don't rush into any unresearched decisions. So while it's a really good time, I know you're a Cap rising, so you won't rush into unresearched decisions, but it's a good time to make decisions. Just make sure they're well thought out and you have been considering them for a while. Like, avoid jumping into big commitments without doing your homework, especially with travel things or education things. Okay, so that's what we have for today. Drop a comment with your prediction with this full moon, your story time. I love reading your comments. Tell me what your thoughts are. And if you are serious about learning more about astrology or tarot, or if you want to join a community and just chat about these sort of things, you are welcome to join us in the 9th House Discord server. It's free and full of really fun people and very nice people. So if you want to chat more, I'll see you there. Otherwise, good luck, friends. I'll catch you on the flip side. Aquarius rising, this full moon on February 24th in Virgo is happening in your 8th whole sign house, which often marks a time of deep emotional feels, revelations, and transformations, and it provides opportunities for confronting harder things, inner truths, and it helps you reassess shared resources. It helps reassess your intimacy levels with a partner, or it helps you initiate significant changes in how you are engaging in life's deeper, more complex aspects. The 8th house is complicated, right? Although it is a succedent house, so the vibes are stable, sustaining, and more focused on security and enjoyment. But let's talk about specifics on what you can expect with this full moon in your 8th whole sign house. Number 1, emotional vibes. Expect emotions, deep emotions, or previously hidden feelings that were shoved under the rug to come to the surface. The rug is getting yanked out and Virgo is sweeping under it, okay? You're dealing with them head on if they come up. Emotional vibes. And I'll have some do's and don'ts to help you navigate this after I give this list, okay? The number 2 thing to expect, financial revelations, especially with someone else, either a partner or just an entity that you share resources with. Joint financial matters, debts, assets, all of these sort of things can become a focal point and helping you adjust and discuss where needed. Number 3, like I mentioned earlier, an intimacy check is coming up here. Your close relationships might be reaching a moment of truth, where a level of emotional or physical intimacy is assessed, and it brings some more clarity to your connections. Number 4, transformational shifts. The 8th house is about transformation, death, and rebirth. So you might find yourself at a crossroads on some level, facing a decision that could lead to a transformation on some level. And this is influenced by thinking deeper introspection. And this is also a full moon where we are asked to reflect on what Saturn has been doing in Pisces, in your 2nd whole sign house. Saturn moved into Pisces in March of 2023, and this full moon is very close to opposing it. So this is a benchmark spotlight moment on what Saturn has been doing for you in your 2nd house. So considering Saturn's lessons here, this is a full moon that could highlight how your values and your material security have evolved over the past year and how this impacts your relationships or your deeper bonds and your resources that you share with other people. Number 6, inheritance or legacy matters could also come up with this full moon. Issues regarding your inheritances, wills, legacies, requires you to engage more directly than usual with these things. Number 7, psychological breakthroughs. This is a full moon that might offer breakthroughs mentally, especially with your own psychological patterns, maybe through therapy, ideally, or meditation, self-reflection, journaling, talking to someone you trust, some sort of psychological breakthrough, a breakthrough in the way that you've been thinking about something and your psychological patterns, your attachment style, those kind of TikTok buzzwords. So overall, this is a full moon that focuses on the deeper transformative aspects of life, and it urges you to confront and engage with more complex facets of your relationships, of your finances, and of your inner self. So here are some do's and don'ts for this full moon. The do's. I do recommend scheduling a therapy appointment. If you've been considering therapy or if you already engage in therapy, this is a good full moon to either have a therapy appointment or find a therapy on psychologytoday.com or whatever that website is. It's a good time for a session to delve into deep emotional work. And if you don't have access to therapy, just engaging in self-reflection in general, dedicating time to introspect, spend some time alone, journal, meditate, better understand your feelings and what's coming up with this full moon. Because there will be feelings that come up and they are Virgo feelings, so you can dissect them and, figure them out. I also recommend you watch an emotional movie. So if you are having trouble actually releasing the feelings and you're only dissecting them and analyzing them, analyzing your feelings won't fix it. You know what I mean? So you gotta feel the feelings so that they leave your body. So I recommend watching a movie that makes you cry. Choose a film that helps you feel things, and you know what one that is. So we all have that, right? Also, do make a meaningful purchase. So if there's something that you've been considering buying that holds deep personal value, consider getting it, because this is a form of self-care and empowerment, as long as it's within your budget. And do support your partner. If you're in a relationship, being there for them during this time might be necessary. The 8th house often rules our partner's life. And if there's a full moon there might be a full moon happening in your partner's life that you need to be there to support them for. And I do recommend doing a full moon release ritual. Light a candle with the intention to release fears, anxieties, old emotional baggage, or write all of this down and burn it on a piece of paper. Write down insecurities, anything that you're ready to let go of. This is a very powerful full moon to let go of things, to make space for yummier, better things. The don'ts for this full moon. Don't overindulge in escapism. Avoid the temptation for this full moon to distract yourself from the deep emotional work by partying too much or engaging in excessive hedonism. We want to be sure that we are engaging in our feelings here, because if we're trying to avoid them, they will bubble up in a more irritating, inconvenient way. I also recommend not ignoring financial boundaries, of course. Be mindful of your joint financial matters. Now's not the time to make impulsive decisions that affect shared resources, especially. I also, don't recommend shutting anybody out. The 8th house can make us feel kind of moody. So while introspection can be valuable, don't completely close off from those who can provide support for you, close friends or a partner. Keep the balance between self-exploration and maintaining connections. Keep that balance. Okay, so that's what we have for today. Drop a comment with your prediction with this full moon, your story time. I love reading your comments. Tell me what your thoughts are. And if you are serious about learning more about astrology or tarot, or if you want to join a community and just chat about these sort of things, you are welcome to join us in the 9th house Discord server. It's free and full of really fun people and very nice people. So if you want to chat more, I'll see you there. Otherwise, good luck, friends. I'll catch you on the flip side. Pisces rising. This full moon on February 24th in Virgo is happening in your 7th whole sign house, which typically is a time for spotlight on your closest relationships, and also shines a light on your relationship dynamics and maybe brings some relationship matters to a head or a turning point. This is an angular house, the 7th house, so this full moon's vibes are going to be dynamic, initiating, and physically present and in your face. You're going to notice this full moon. Let's talk about what to expect. Number 1, heart-to-heart talks are happening. Expect deep conversations with a partner, romantic or business, close associates, besties, clients, one-on-one interactions, getting to the heart of the matter, resolving any long-standing issues if that's applicable, and social vibes. Also, in general, this is a full moon that is dialing up your social life, putting you in situations where mingling that could lead to either meeting someone new or strengthening bonds with current friends or a current person. Also, relationship status updates are possible. For some, this full moon could mark a significant time or moment in a relationship, like taking things to the next level or deciding to break up, go separate ways. It's about clarity and decisions. Also, there's a feedback loop here with the full moon in the 7th house. You might find yourself on the receiving end of some sort of direct feedback from a partner or a close friend, some sort of one-on-one interaction, maybe a client even. It's not about judgment. It's about understanding each other better. And like I said, one-on-one interaction is more common. So a lot more client interaction is possible too. Also, just seeing eye to eye, like there's a chance to have a conversation with someone and finally see eye to eye on something that's been a sticking point in a relationship. So finding common ground is possible here. But we do have Saturn's reality check in the background. This full moon is shining a light directly on Saturn in Pisces. Saturn has been in Pisces since March 2023. So this is kind of like a full moon that acts as a benchmark checkpoint on what Saturn has been doing in your first house for the past year. So you might be noticing how your self-growth and how your changes over the past year has been impacting your relationships and how you want to interact one-on-one with other people. This is a full moon that brings truth to how you and your relationships have evolved in the past year. Also, commitment questions could come up. This is a full moon that might bring up questions about commitments and what it means to you and your partner, significant other. It's about understanding your commitments a bit more deeply with this full moon. And also there's this energy of clearing the air. If there's been any tension or unspoken issues, this is a full moon where something might come out into the open, and ideally, aiming for a fresh start or closure with Virgo cleaning this up. So overall, this is a full moon that acts as a relationship or one-on-one interaction audit. It offers a chance to address what's been bubbling up under the surface of your partnerships and your close connections, and it's guided by Virgo's knack for details and desire for improvement. So overall, it's a good full moon. The do's and don'ts I have. Let's talk about the do's and don'ts. I do recommend being social. Definitely get out there, mix, mingle. It's a prime time to connect with others and maybe even spark some new relationships for those of you looking. I also recommend making agreements and commitments. If you've been hovering around deciding something on a partnership, personal or professional or romantic, this is a good full moon to make things official or renew your vows, so to speak. Also, I do recommend addressing and resolving conflicts with other people. Use this time to clear the air on any lingering issues in your relationships. This is a good time for a calm, honest conversation that can work wonders. But again, we have some miscommunications that are possible with Mercury's condition. So be sure to be very clear, very detailed, and be sure you're doing that listening exercise where you repeat back what the other person says so you understand each other completely, 100%, no miscommunications. I also recommend doing a full moon release ritual. Of course, this is a very powerful full moon for you to release outdated or things that no longer serve you regarding relationships. So light a candle with the intention or write down any relationship fears or relationship insecurities. Burn the paper, burn the candle, let it go. This is an act that symbolizes releasing these old, gross baggage, the old relationship baggage, and make space for healthier, newer connections. The don'ts for this full moon. I don't recommend, of course, don't lose yourself in someone else in this full moon. Maintain your sense of self. Even if you meet someone and you're falling into love bombing phase, this is, it's great to be part of a duo, but remember to keep your individuality in check. You don't want to have to deal with that later on down the road. Don't lose yourself in someone else. Remember your needs. Don't ignore your needs. That's my second don't. In the spirit of compromise, don't forget what you need, what you want out of a relationship. It's about balance, not just giving in. I also recommend not jumping to conclusions. It'll be really easy with heightened emotions to think and, jump to conclusions. It's very easy to misread signals or words for this full moon. So be sure you're taking a step back. Don't rush any judgment. Clarify before reacting. Okay, so that's what we have for today. Drop a comment with your prediction with this full moon. your story time. I love reading your comments. Tell me what your thoughts are. And if you are serious about learning more about astrology or tarot, or if you want to join a community and just chat about these sort of things, you are welcome to join us in the 9th House Discord server. It's free and full of really fun people and very nice people. So if you want to chat more, I'll see you there. Otherwise, good luck, friends. I'll catch you on the flip side.